Welcome friends. Today we will discuss one of the important topic which is always in current affairs. That is Tamil Nadu stands against NEET examination. Let's start the video. First of all, what exactly is the NEET examination that we will discuss? Then we will discuss why the NEET examination was introduced. Then next question obviously, what's the Supreme Court judgment about it? Then obviously, if the matter is in Supreme Court, then there has to be arguments in favor and against NEET examination. Then comes the next question, Kisa, why Tamil Nadu is opposing NEET examination? That we will discuss. Then we'll go for a conclusion. And finally, as usual, mains questions and prelims questions. So let's start. What exactly is the NEET? Now listen, the NEET is National Eligibility Entrance Test. It's an eligibility entrance test. So can I simply say it's an entrance test for whom? For MBBS as well as BDS programs. NEET is conducted across India. It is conducted by National Testing Agency. And via this examination, around more than 1 lakh plus MBBS seats and BDS seats are filled up in India. So can I simply say NEET is an entrance examination which is conducted for medical students entrance. Now, let's go ahead. What exactly is Supreme Court directive regarding NEET compulsory? Why Supreme Court decided to make NEET compulsory in 2016? Is it in right direction? Let us see. Now listen carefully. What earlier used to happen? Earlier, different medical colleges used to have different tests. So suppose someone is going to want to apply for X, Y, and Z college, medical college, then the student will have to appear for all 3 examinations. Now here I'm just talking about 3 examinations. In India, there are more than 400 medical colleges. So obviously here, if you want to apply for those colleges, then don't you think you're supposed to give different examination? So obviously it will be an additional burden of different examination. Not only this will add the cost also. And most of the time it is not affordable to students. And that's the reason Simran Jain in 2009, another student, they have filed petition in Supreme Court regarding, so is it possible to have a single entrance test instead of having of multiple entrance tests? Like we have JEE in Maharashtra for engineering, we have MST CET. So similarly, is it possible? Now, what exactly Constitution says? Under Article 47, it's the state's duty to improve public health. So health is a subject, please listen, it falls under state list under Indian Constitution. Then comes the next. Why NEET is necessary? What are the reasons given by them? Now, the reasons which are specified here is already we are having multiple examination. Obviously, as I said, multiple examination means cost will increase. Also, additional burden will increase. Not only this, most of the time, suppose there are 2 good colleges. A is also good college, B is also good college. But there's every possibility both colleges are going to conduct the examination on same date. Then obviously it will create a question in front of the students that which examination I should go for. That is overlapping dates. Not only this, there are certain allegations that there is rampant malpractices which used to happen, and merit has very little consequences. And obviously, here standard of knowledge, obviously it was a poor standard of knowledge. And don't you think medical profession is something which deals with human life? And if something deals with human life, it has to be done in a proper manner. And if NEET is going to have across India same examination, then don't you think state governments can focus more on high school education? So obviously, I hope the reasons why NEET is necessary, all reasons are clear. Then comes the next question. What Supreme Court says. Now listen carefully. Supreme Court rules that NEET is necessary in national interest. And it doesn't violate minority institutions' rights. Then comes the next question in your mind. So what's the relation between minority institution, minority rights and NEET? Listen, under Article 30 of Indian Constitution, what it says, Article 30 says, minorities, whether it is religious or linguistic, they have right to set up and run their educational institution of their choice. Means minority in India, they have right to set up and run their educational institution. So does that mean NEET is violating minority rights? Let us see. Article 19, we are supposed to understand. Article 19 gives you right to carry on any occupation or any trade, which is legal in nature. That means Article 19 gives you the freedom. Article 30 talks about the minority rights. Now let us see whether NEET violates minority right. As per the Supreme Court, it says that minority institutions are equally bound to comply with the conditions imposed under relevant acts. Means minority institution, they should comply with the acts. Please listen, minority institutions have right to set up and run the institution, educational institution. That does not mean they have right to maladminister the institutions. And that's the reason court rejects the contention that compulsory entrance test is something which is against the rights of minority to administer their institutions. So it is not correct as per the Supreme Court ruling. Then comes the next. In Tamil Nadu government appointed a committee of ex-judge A.K. Rajan, which submitted a report. Now, what they had to say? Now, the committee says NEET eliminates the poor. Let us see. Now, primary health center in rural Tamil Nadu will not get doctors in future if NEET is continued. Now, don't you think this is a very extreme statement that if you continue the NEET, then there won't be doctor in future in rural areas specifically. And the second thing is NEET drives away the poor. How? Let us see. And third thing which they said that only rich and affluent garner most of the seat. Now, when you remove local student from studying MBBS after becoming doctor, do you think that rich or affluent students will prefer to go to primary health center in rural areas, remote areas? The answer is mostly no. Now, why exactly they are saying all this? Let us see. Now, you may say, sir, there is a reservation for poor and rural students. But as per the committee, it says it is not benefited equally, as they cannot afford the private coaching like urban affluent students. And there are also no coaching centers in rural areas. Now, let us see this statement in little depth. First of all, do you think that there are no coaching centers in rural areas? The answer is negative. Yes, sir, there are coaching centers. See, truth is somewhere in between. Why? Because when you say, sir, coaching centers, we have already seen in rural areas. Agreed. But my question to you, if you consider examination like IES, don't you think most of the good institutions are in Delhi or in Maharashtra? It is in Pune mostly. So don't you think regarding IES coaching also, mostly students go to the metro area or certain primary important centers. So don't you think we do agree that there are coaching centers, but do you think good coaching centers are there in rural areas? First question. My first question is whether the coaching centers are good or not. And second is whether the good teachers are ready to go to rural areas. Because ultimately teachers are also human beings. How many hours in a day they can teach and how many hours in a week they can teach. So is it possible for a teacher to connect with different cities simultaneously? It's very difficult. And that's the reason the government says that good coaching institutions are not there in rural areas, and also good teachers are very less in rural areas. Now, there are a number of reasons, because obviously coaching centers, they would like to open the coaching where there's a good market. Obviously, if they are sending a good teacher in rural areas, obviously they will have to spend a lot. So this is something which government is also saying. Then comes the next. The NEET eliminates the poor. Is it true? As per the committee, it says equality is not only treating poor equally. We should look at the outcome. If we are conducting the examination, then we will see to it, does the present system helps everyone in the society? And if it is not, then we should change it. Before NEET exam mandatory, higher number of poor students used to manage to get the admission in medicine, and most of them used to be largely from government school. So this is what the committee says. And not only this, committee also says that because of NEET today, many poor students are not applying for NEET due to the fear One more thing which they say that NEET is something which is based mostly on CBSE pattern. Now, this is what against NEET. Not only this, Tamil Nadu government also says that Tamil Nadu government a robust healthcare system which is already present. There's a possibility that in future it may not be. And Tamil Nadu healthcare system, please listen, it is one of the internationally renowned healthcare system. And there's a possibility of decline in future. Not only this, in case of NEET, they say that there is no cap of number of attempts. Even for civil service, we do have cap. For open category, for example, we have 6 attempts. And here, listen carefully, most of the political parties of Tamil Nadu are on the same page regarding NEET. Then comes the next. But this may be wrong also. How can you prove it? Because whatever you say, it should have certain backing. And that's the reason the committee has also submitted a report. Now exactly see what exactly the report says, the data, because fact is a statement of reality. It says in rural areas, earlier 61% students used to be there, now it is 50%. Earlier government school presentation was 1.12, now it is 0.6, means literally 50% less. English medium number is increase from 85% to 98%. CBSE is increase, and economically poor, it is decrease. What exactly it shows? That the fear which the Tamil Nadu government says is somewhere true. Then comes the next. Ki Tamil Nadu government decided to go to Supreme Court against the constitutional validity. Now, what exactly they want to say? Now, Tamil Nadu government allegations are that conducting a single window examination for admission to medical colleges, it violates the principle of federalism, and principle of federalism is one of the part of basic structure of constitution. Then you may say, so what exactly is the basic structure? In Keshwanand Bharti case 1973, Supreme Court talk about basic structure, but what exactly is the basic structure? The Supreme Court not defined. So what exactly is basic structure? It will be decided case by case basis. So here they say it violates the principle of federalism. Not only this, as per the Tamil Nadu government, it violates the Article 14 also, because it discriminates the student from rural areas and state backgrounds. Matlab, students from rural area and from state board, they suffer a lot. Listen carefully. Rural against there is a urban, so obviously more coaching center will be there in urban. State board, mostly NEET is based on CBSE, so obviously CBSE students will do well. Now poor students, obviously they lack economic resources also, they don't have enough money to go to the good coaching centers. See, coaching centers can be many, but good coaching center also, so obviously they will be always at disadvantage, and that's the reason this stage should not be there. Now, this is a photograph of Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu giving awarding one students who cracked the NEET examination. Now, here one of the parent whose daughter was cleared the NEET examination. Now, Tamil Nadu government made a statement that Tamil Nadu has a very good standard regarding the healthcare system. So the parent replied, "Sir, you only say that standards are very high in our medical system. Now, don't you think these standards are high because of our earlier system? Then whatever you are saying that the standards are very good and high, we have achieved without NEET." Now, what do you think? Let's decide. Now, this is the article which is there in the newspaper that NEET fails the multidimensional construct of merit. Then comes the next question. We have seen both the sides. NEET, why NEET is required, and second side, why Tamil Nadu is against NEET. Now, what exactly is the outcome? Please, let us see. What is more important, equality or equity? Think about it. Now, here, first thing is equity is most important. And that's the reason the examination should be conducted only on the basis of CBSE. The answer is no. Then comes the next question. Is NEET examination should be there? The answer for it is yes. So NEET should be there. Answer is yes. Why? Because single examination for courses like medical is good from student point of view also. And as I earlier said, medical profession is something which deals with the human lives. So from student point of view, from national interest point of view, NEET examination is must there. So first doubt is clear. NEET should be there. Yes. Then comes the next question. Okay, so what about Tamil Nadu? Facts which they have presented and the things which they have specified. Yes, there should be certain changes. What? First of all, even state boards should improve their quality. One. Second, NEET examination right now, many of the students who appear for NEET also and coaching center also, they also say it is mostly on CBSE base. Now, don't think if it is only on CBSE base, there's every possibility those who are not from that background, they will suffer. So is it possible to have a pattern which will be inclusive of entire India so that goals of new education policy can be achieved? I hope the conclusion is clear. I repeat once again, equality or equity should be there, but NEET is essential. The answer is yes. State board should improve and NEET should not be only on CBSE base so that new educational policy goals should be achieved, that is inclusiveness, equity. Then comes the next question. So questions for mains. Now listen, I have decided to go through different topics of the NEET, and that's the reason I decided to have more than one question. The question number one, critically analyze the examination result data for this year, because the way government has given, Tamil Nadu government has given data, my thing is even you should go through the data so that you will come to know what exactly is right and what exactly is wrong. Second, do you think NEET fulfills the substantial equality? I'm not talking about procedural equality. I'm talking about substantial equality. And third question, does NEET really achieve the goals of new education policy of equity, inclusion, and access? What do you think about all three questions? If you know the answer, please try to write the answer. Then comes the last question. That is the prelims question. Which of the following article is related to minority rights to establish and run educational institution? Options are Article 15, Article 25, Article 30, and Article 21. If you know the answer, please write down in comment box. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the video. Thank you very much.